Grand Rising, everybody. No, not yet. I guess we'll go. I guess we'll go. I'm live right now. 8278. Okay. Ohio 781108. 6855. Georgia. 670 751. 2703 I gave you. 922. 7316. Michigan 503. 9517. Florida 620 straight. 4429. North Carolina 815 straight. 7804 promised. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're going to do Maryland, Louisiana, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Iowa, Indiana, Kentucky, Delaware, Missouri. We are going to add Virginia, New York, New Mexico, and DC. Okay, so Maryland. Maryland gave you 139 and 773. Gave you the 3526 that I warned you about. Gave you the 4079 that I warned you about. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, 277, 685, 8745, Pennsylvania, told you to watch out for 520 and 173. Two states before, two states after. I told you I am a super manifester and I know where they will go, but y'all won't believe me. 2632. It did exactly what I said it would do. Iowa, 633. 073. Told you. Better. Okay. Indiana, 958 121. I told y'all 0010 was going to show up and show out. 9932. Kentucky, 697. 489. 1757. 8511. Delaware, 441. 146. 6818. 5672. Watch that go to Ohio. 2 states before, 2 states after, or Delaware. Missouri, 240. I told you guys 369 would roll out yesterday. How many people believed me? Told you 1659 would keep falling. How many people believed me? I told you would see your 3246 over and over and over again. Told you 173 would fall over and over and over again. I told you to watch out for that 321. I told you that would fall on yesterday's date. I told you to watch out for 2941. 5322 will travel. New York. 914. I told you to watch out for the 914. I told you that would fall over and over and over again. Told you to watch out for 6-7 deuce. You'll see that in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Florida, Kentucky, told you to watch out for 4372. Watch that number move to Georgia. 2 states before, 2 states after. I told you 472 would fall over and over and over again, straight. I told you the sum of 11 was extremely strong. 2, 20. Told you 3610 would continue to keep falling over and over and over and over again and again and again. Told you 980 would do the same thing. I told you 178 would do the same thing. And I also told you that 273 would continue to keep falling over and over and over again. Told you to watch out for 7039. Zero 0577 will travel. 7470 will travel. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. You're 581. You're 581. I promised that combination would fall. Triple dollar signed it as proof. Told you would see it on 8/15. You didn't have to wait. Ladies and gentlemen, 815. I promised that number would fall straight. Y'all better stop playing with me. I told you, focus on my top 5 3 digits, which I promised the top 2. 1, 2, straight. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you they would manifest between the dates 8/11 and 8/17. I also guaranteed you would see it show up and show out in North Carolina. Boom, boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it again, over and over and over again. I provide the winning numbers. Watch out for 3192. Watch out for 7840. Ladies and gentlemen, your 7840 is a North Carolina number. You will see 3194 over and over and over again. Watch to go to Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 9615. I told you numbers don't lie. And we saw that number drop in Missouri. Promised. Nope, guaranteed. Watching out for 3193. You're going to see 3193. Don't believe me, just watch. "9653, you will see New Mexico, Missouri. You're going to see it in Maryland, Ohio, 2 states before and 2 states after. Ladies and gentlemen, I guaranteed 7840 would fall on yesterday's date. I told you, focus on my top 5 4 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did one even better. I said that they would manifest on 8/15. That was yesterday's date. You didn't have to wait. I also guaranteed the number 4 would fall. Boom, boom, boom. If you move your 0 4 times, you win straight. 8130-4429-3510-3110. You're going to see 4932. You're going to see 4592. Write that down. Those are by way of Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see 474, 404. These are extremely strong combinations. Ladies and gentlemen, 730 will fall. 730, I promised it would fall. There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, 615 will fall. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 785 no matter what. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 620 no matter what. 206 is your backup plan. Ladies and gentlemen, 183 is guaranteed and 790 is guaranteed. Those are by way of Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you, if you focus on my top 5 3 digits, which I promise the top 2 big money patterns will manifest between the dates 8/12 and 8/19, I also guaranteed it would go to Florida. 620 straight, ladies and gentlemen, and promised for yesterday's date. Ladies and gentlemen, 528. Ladies and gentlemen, 527. Write those down. You will see these numbers. You're going to see 528, ladies and gentlemen. That's an Indiana number. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. 527, you will see. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, you're going to see 295 and 204. 295 and 204. Ladies and gentlemen, your 204 answered the call for Missouri. Your 295 will go to Louisiana and Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, 922 straight. Ladies and gentlemen, 229, only number on fire. A 5-year-old can pick out the fire. 922 straight. 922 straight. 922 on fire for the win. I told you would see this number between 814 and 820. All you had to wait was one day. 8902-7361. You will see 7063 and 2540. 6237. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see in New York. You will see in Missouri. You will see in Delaware. You will see in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, 2 states before and 2 states after. You're watching out for 2245. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 1669 on fire. 7731 is Kentucky. And I need you to watch out for 4582, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and also Florida. 7631, ladies and gentlemen, I guaranteed that combination would fall for my VIP. They drop 7316. Ladies and gentlemen, I said focus on my top 5 4 digits. I said they would manifest between the dates 814 and 820. One day. I said it would go to Georgia, guaranteed. The number 4 number. 1, 2, 3. That's the number 4 number, guaranteed to show up and show out. Ladies and gentlemen, top 2 numbers. If you focused on my top 5 4 digits, which I promised the top 2, will manifest 814 to 820. One day, I said it would go to Texas. They dropped 8278 on that promise. 824-761-744-455-546-906 and 519. Those are by way of Texas. 2 states before, 2 states after. Ladies and gentlemen, your 546 that dropped. I promised that number would show up and show out for my VIP if they believed in me. One 166-338, ladies and gentlemen, you will see these combinations. You're going to see 350 over and over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, your 350 dropped in Michigan. This is coming from your Ohio. Watching out for 635. Your 473 is on fire. Your 489, you will see 489. 489 came straight on that promise. Ladies and gentlemen, 108, you will see 482, you will see also 918 and 639. 918 and 639. Boom, boom, boom. There's your 810. I told you, I can promise a number will fall and it will do what it's supposed to do. I told you, focus on my top 3 digits, which I promised the top 2 will manifest between the dates 8/11 and 8/17. I also guaranteed you would see it in Ohio. 4795, you will see, ladies and gentlemen, look for that in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. You will see that number in Michigan, 2 states before, 2 states after. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 9071. You will see 6855, ladies and gentlemen. That is a Ohio hookup. Watch out for 2374. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see these numbers right here? Numbers don't lie. You will see 3347, ladies and gentlemen, over and over and over again. You're watching out for 9744. Extremely strong combination. Look for that in Iowa. 2 states before, 2 states after. Don't leave out Maryland. You will see your 3497 no matter what. Look for that number in Iowa. 2 states before, 2 states after. $8076, ladies and gentlemen, you will see. Look for that in North Carolina. You're going to see 8621. You're going to see 9517. Michigan. You're going to see 8620. Georgia, Michigan, 8620 went to North Carolina. Watching out for 0688, Delaware. 0486, only combination on fire. Those numbers are by way of Michigan. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I promised 7159 would fall between the dates 8/10 and 8/16. I guaranteed it would go to Michigan. They dropped 9517 on that promise. Ladies and gentlemen, 5197, I triple dollar sign 4 hours before the number made its debut. I confirmed that you needed to play and invest in that combination yesterday, 4 hours before it dropped. Ladies and gentlemen, I put you on notice. On 8/10, I said, invest in this combination. You will see this combination fall. 4 hours before it dropped, I told you, if you want to make a lot of money, go ahead and do the thing. I put triple dollar signs on it, promising you would see that combination. 044722, you will see. You're going to see 306 and 206, ladies and gentlemen. Watching out for 035. Boom, 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 Michigan. You're going to see 215, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see 794, ladies and gentlemen. Your 794 is New Mexico, New York. Your 794 is Kentucky heavy and also Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, I promised my number one number would make its debut. The number one number dropped in Michigan. Now I got to go backwards and just see if I missed any. So we stopped at 305. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving here. I promised that 4781 would fall. Where did that land? Where did that land? Where did that land? Your 4781 went to Tennessee. I promised 656 would make its debut. It dropped to 665 on that promise. Congratulations. What is this? Nice bond, NICBON. There's your 5197, ladies and gentlemen, right there. North Carolina Midday said, look, drop triple dollar signs on that combination so your VIP can win. Your 8295 is your only combination on fire. Got to make you aware of that. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 7391. You're going to see 8206 in North Carolina. 4583, you will see 7392. You will see 7392 over and over and over again. Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, South Carolina, and DC. Watching out for 7390. I guarantee that combination would go to DC. 7391 up next, ladies and gentlemen. 233110, you will see. You're watching out for 986, ladies and gentlemen. Extremely strong and powerful combination. 987, you will see. You're going to see 985. 985 dropped in Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 164 over and over and over again. Your 164 went to Delaware. Watch out for 209 and 369. Your 369. Your 369. Straight and promised to fall that way. 369 did what it was supposed to do. Congratulations, Pearl Rose. 2680. I guaranteed that number would fall for my VIP. 944, 900. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see these combinations make their debut. You're going to see 432. You're going to see 485 on fire. You're going to see 751 over and over and over again. 751 drop straight, ladies and gentlemen. On that promise. Watch out for 490, ladies and gentlemen. Your 490 will be making its debut over and over and over again. DC, New Mexico, New York. You'll see it in New Mexico. You'll see it in Kentucky. You'll see it in Louisiana and Michigan. 0965. Ladies and gentlemen, 8787, you will see on fire. 0961, you will see 0921, number 1, 6345, you will see. Ladies and gentlemen, 6645 should be on your roster as a guaranteed hookup. Quad nines you want to watch out for. Look for those in Indiana. Look for those in New York. Quad nines. Also Florida. 2 states before, 2 states after. Ladies and gentlemen, 7563. I promised that number would fall straight in Ohio yesterday. How many people were paying attention? I told you, focus on my top 5 4 digits, which I promised the top 2. 1, 2, 7, 5, 6, 3, drop straight in Ohio for my VIP. Congratulations for those who believe in me. 833-773, you will see. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 201. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 074 over and over and over again. I promised that combination would show up and show out. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 741 over and over and over again. You will also see 781. You will also see 247 and 951. Your 951 is New York. Your 951 is Indiana. Your 951 is Louisiana. Those numbers are by way of Ohio, 2 states before, 2 states after. 700, 177, you will see. Ladies and gentlemen, you will also see 347 over and over and over again. I need you to watch out for 916. You will see that number make its debut. You're also watching out for 732. You will also see your 732, number 1 number. Watch out for that 135. Watch out for that 174 and your 791. Extremely strong combinations. 3942. You will see. Look for that in Indiana, ladies and gentlemen. You will see it in Florida, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching out for 0564. Extremely strong. Look for that in Texas. You can see it in Missouri. Also, 2391, no matter what, Indiana. 8540, you will see. Look for that in New Mexico. Look for that in Pennsylvania, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, also Maryland. Watch out for 7840, ladies and gentlemen. Your 7840 is a North Carolina number. It dropped in North Carolina, 7804. You better stop playing with your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 8007 and quad zeros making their debut. Watch out for 0051. Your 0051 is an Indiana hookup. Watch out for 9763. 6840. You will see these combinations in North Carolina. Watching out for 1293, ladies and gentlemen, you will see 5408 in Texas. Watching for 9761, that's at Louisiana. Also, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see 4445. Texas. 9123, right there, ladies and gentlemen. 18 hours before the number even thought about making its debut, we knew it was going to Tennessee. 2931, I promise you would see that combination between the dates 811 and 817 in Tennessee. They drop 1923. You want to run 1923 back in Tennessee. Watch it go to North Carolina. Watch it go to Texas, Ohio, Georgia, Michigan, and Florida as well. 225344, you will see. Watch out for 810. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to see 851, ladies and gentlemen. That's a boom, boom, boom as well. Your 851 showed up and showed out in North Carolina. You're going to see 840. You are going to see your 796 over and over and over again. 796 dropped in Kentucky on that promise. Watch out for 764. Watch out for 720. You will see these combinations. There's your 796 right there, ladies and gentlemen. I promised that number would fall, and I kept that promise to fall straight in Tennessee and to keep moving to Kentucky. Congratulations, Renee. 7094, your number one combination. 7094, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all better watch these numbers. DC will get that number next. 6543, number one number. Y'all better stop playing with me. 6374, New York. 8542, Ohio. 6373, 5455, 3358. You will see. Watching out for 1254, 637 deuce. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see that combination over and over and over again. Look for it in Delaware. Look for it in New York. Look for it in Georgia. Look for it in Pennsylvania and also Maryland. 200, 244, you will see. Watching out for 316, ladies and gentlemen, your 316 is extremely strong. You are going to see 820. That's a Pennsylvania hookup. Ladies and gentlemen, 795, you will see. You will also see 064. You will also see 249 and 410 guaranteed. There's your 064, number one number. Can't get around that number one number, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why people won't play it. 1940, no matter what. 0943, you will see that's a Maryland hookup. Ladies and gentlemen, 1920, number one position. You're going to see 5678. You're going to see 9990. You're going to see 3294. Your 3294 is a Missouri hookup. And Virginia. Watch for it in Virginia. $8675, ladies and gentlemen, number two. Promised it would fall. It did. You're going to see 1083. You're going to see 1064 over and over and over again, Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, 1063, 5249. You will see these combinations rolling out. You're also going to see 845 deuce. You will also see 1062. Extremely strong combinations. Look for those in Pennsylvania. There's your 945, drop 5249. Watch out for 911, 7 deuce deuce. You can see that in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, 850503. We already covered the 503. You should already know 503 and 369. There's your 369 down here. I told you they sing a song. There's your 503 right there, straight. You better stop playing with your boy. And I promised the number two number would keep rolling out for you, but y'all not believing me. You're watching out for that 713 to keep doing damage. Those numbers are by way of Florida. There's your 227, only number on fire. A 5-year-old can pick out these numbers. There's your 559, ladies and gentlemen. 559, I told you, was extremely strong. You're going to keep seeing that number in Texas. You're going to see it in Puerto Rico. You're going to see it in Louisiana. Watching out for your 129. 129 is extremely strong. You will see 784. You will see 140 and 940, no matter what. You're watching out for 931 and 914 straight. 914 right here. 914 straight. And ladies and gentlemen, we do see these numbers falling over and over and over again. You got your 419 right there. I need you to watch out for 129. 129 is a Maryland hookup. It is a Indiana hookup. There's your 140. Just like I said, your number one number will fall straight. 2890, 1284, 9083. You're going to see 6354, 7211. You're also going to see 9086 and 9908. Those are by way of Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, there's your 5897. They dropped 5879. Your number one number. I'm telling you, you are doing way too much if you are seeing too many numbers. 4, 5, 9, 8. You will see. You're going to see 6766. You're going to see 4589. You're going to see 9580. You're going to see 5243, 8901, and 8453. Extremely strong combinations right there, ladies and gentlemen. Those are by way of Texas. There's your 6766. They dropped 6667. Watching out for 670721. You will see 409 on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, no, 721 on fire. 409 is promised. 716251. You will see 098. 098 was guaranteed to go to DC. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see your 251 over and over and over again. Watching out for 069. There's your 215. They dropped 251. I promised you would see that combination. 722588. You're going to see 963. I told you. Promise combination. 856. Promise combination. 024. No matter what. You're going to see 847, 315, and 572. There's your 847, ladies and gentlemen. Just like I guaranteed it would fall straight, there it is. There you have it right there. Promise to fall straight. The numbers will not get away from you, ladies and gentlemen. There's your 9361, your 9561 that I told you would continue to keep falling over and over and over again. They dropped it in Missouri. Watch it move. 2 states before, 2 states after. 91432708. You're going to continue to see these numbers over and over and over again. Watch out for 8791 and watch out for 2187. There's your 8321. There's your 3210. Watch out for 8091. Watch out for 7456. You'll see that in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. 9830, extremely strong. 9283, you will see. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. Four, 7, 2. Promised straight. And where was that other number at? Three, two, one, promised to fall straight. 321, 321, 321, drop straight on that promise. Right there. One, 3, 9, promised to fall straight, ladies and gentlemen. 139, drop straight in Maryland. 459, I guarantee would fall straight on yesterday's date. from 813 to 819. 459 fell straight on that guarantee. $520, I promised it would fall straight on yesterday's date. I said if you invested in it between 8/9 and 8/16, you would guarantee. No, I promised you would see 520 straight. 520 fell straight on yesterday's date. $173, your number one number. I promised you would see that number over and over and over again. In the number one position, 173 fell in Virginia, ladies and gentlemen, and 173 fell straight again in Pennsylvania. $267, I promised that number would fall. I triple dollar signed it to fall on yesterday's date. They dropped it in New York. The only number on fire, I promised it would fall between the dates 8/13 and 8/19. They dropped it in Indiana. $856, I promised that number would fall, putting triple dollar signs on it. I told you to focus on my top five. It went to Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire on that promise. $951, I guaranteed would fall straight on yesterday's date. 951 dropped in Texas. Straight. $951, I promised that number would fall straight by 8/18. I gave it to you on 8/11. I told you to start playing it on 8/12. By 8/18, I put triple dollar signs by it and I said it would deliver straight. 951, I promised would fall straight. Number one number, ladies and gentlemen. Number one number I declared and decreed would show up and show out in Louisiana 9641. I promised you would see that combination as a number one selection. I guaranteed 7940 would fall between the dates 8, 9, and 814. Yesterday was 815. And here you have it right here. Your number one number, 7094. 7094. I promised that combination would show up and show out between 813 and 819. They dropped 4079 on that promise for the number one number. 8150, I guarantee it would fall between 812 and 818. They dropped 1508. Number one number, ladies and gentlemen, 6342. They dropped 3246. I'm going to do one more. I said you would see this number by 816. I promised it. The number two number, they dropped 3610 in New Mexico on that promise. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and tally these up. I think I got one more to do down here, and then I think I'll be a little bit satisfied with all the hard work that I've been putting in. Let's see here. We have it straight and promised. Number one number, 178. 178. Straight and number one. Let me see if I can see. Okay. Four days ago, I promised 1294 would fall. They dropped 2941. And that's not the number one. That's 1264 up there. And I guess I can take a look at your 8745, 8754. And that one rode out as a guaranteed combination, 8754. 8754. And it dropped as 8745 guaranteed. 562 3526 6253. 3 days ago, I told you if you invested in 6253, the only number on fire, a 5-year-old would have been able to win in Maryland when they dropped 3526 on that promise. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do one more. And 2576, the number two number. I promised it would show up and show out in Delaware. I'm going to take a look and see if we did say that 265.8 was going to do that again. 265.8. Let me Let me see here. That was Georgia. Hmm. And last but not least, we're going to do that 2703, 2730, 7023, 7032. 2 days ago, I guaranteed it, number three number, to fall by 820, leaving you only 1 day to invest in it. 7032. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and tally these up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. 64 numbers that I said would fall on 815, and they did. Out of the 64, I promised 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. 49 numbers I promised you would hit if you believed in my promises. Straight, ladies and gentlemen, we nailed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 numbers I said would fall straight yesterday. Number one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For those who just wanted to invest in the number one number, you would have won 11 times. Let's see here for your number one number. We got one straight, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times you would have hit straight promise out of 11. So 5 of them were guaranteed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go to work. I think I have a one state to do. It is Virginia. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one state. I am no longer going to do one state. I keep telling people you don't need me to do your one state when I can get it from these. But I'm going to do this one state, Virginia. I'm going to post it into the Discord, and I'm going to leave it at that. Again, first two numbers or the first number from the 7 catalyst states that you see me doing will work in your state, providing you're investing, not gambling. I'll see everybody at the winner's table no matter what. Abundant prosperity in health and in wealth to all who follow me and believe in the work that you see me doing every single day without fail. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and get busy. I will try to return around about 10:30 with your Tennessee hookup. There will be some slight delays in the online post for the website, but you will get them in the Discord. So be sure that you're connected to the Discord because I'm not going to be privy to be able to upload on the laptop like I would be.